Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching. Before we start, I want you to do something. I want you to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Let's jump right into it. The problem that we're having right now that I'm seeing is that there are individuals out there that are having a really tough time with money. Now, these people are having a tough time with money because of a few reasons. One of the reasons is that they have what I would call is a poor man's mindset. A poor man's mindset is that of an individual that has fear of money and they don't have something called financial literacy. They don't understand how money works, and that creates nervousness, it creates apprehension, and it creates something that you never want to have in business: fear, because you will get ran over so many times. And the reason why I'm making this video is so I can help out this group, this segment of people, to understand that you can win this money game. You just have to know how to play the game and play it very well. I had to learn the game, and I learned from the best of the best. My mentors, I had 9 to 5 when I was in the workforce, senior people that really knew how to move and shake, making millions. And I'll tell you right now, really quickly, not to jump ahead too much, but in order to make some serious money, you have to understand, you have to impact a large group of people. And I'll give you a quick example of that. I have a barber and he cuts hair. He can only cut a certain amount of hair per hour, per day. So therefore his income is limited to the amount of people that he can cut and how much clients come in on a certain day. He's got a cap on his income. Now, the problem with that is he cannot impact the masses in a larger scale. He can't cut millions of people's heads in one day. Just cannot happen. So what I'm trying to say is scale up. Find a business, find an opportunity where you can scale and impact a larger audience. I don't really know one millionaire that has not or does not have an impact on a large audience, a large segment or a group of people, because they sell their products to this mass group of people. Now, when you're working a job, which is nothing wrong with working a job, the impact on a daily basis is minimal. You have your coworkers around you, you have your boss, you have some people probably in other offices, but the group of people you're impacting definitely is not millions, and it's definitely not even thousands. It's not even hundreds. It's just that small group. So you understand, when you get that check at the end of the 2 weeks, that check shows you how many people you impacted for that time period. So impact a larger group of people, a larger audience. Start bringing something called value to that group of audience, and you will see the money coming to you. Now, with that being said, that kind of brings it along to another one of my other points is process over profit. A lot of people are focusing so much on profit, the end goal, I have to make so much money in this amount of time by this age, but you're missing the whole point, which is the process to get there. There is certain things and certain avenues that you have to travel, and once you provide so much value, it will be duplicated to you tenfold. So focus more on the process, focus more on the deliverable than the actual outcome, which is the profit. When your boss gives you a deadline and a project, do you go straight to the end of the project and say, hey, this is the project and it's already done? No, you don't do that. You first step back and go to the process. This is what I have to do. I have to pull these numbers together. I have to put it into a particular file. I have to get my data components together in the particular file. I have to coordinate with XYZ to get these variance questions answered. You're going through the process to get to the profit. So moving on, the next thing I want to talk about, in order to win this money game, leverage. You have to, at some point, implement some form of leverage. It can be financial leverage. It can be intellectual leverage. It can be all types of leverage, that anything that can boost you up to the next level using other people's manpower or other people's money. That's how you use leverage. You use the leverage to increase your profits. I'll give you a quick example of that. When you're buying a home, you buy it using a leverage, the bank leverage, and you're putting down your money, which is a smaller percentage, 10%, and you're financing 90% of the mortgage. So you're using the bank's money pretty much to float, and that's financial leverage. When you have say for example, you have a group and you're working to get a project done, you're using the leverage of the other team members to get that project done. And long story short, you cannot do everything yourself. It just doesn't work like that. You're just not a one-man soldier. You won't win. So you have to use leverage, use either other people's manpower or other people's capital or banks leverage. So that's how you just kind of like scale up. And coming around to kind of like my closing points, money travels to where most of the value is created. Money sitting in a bank account, there's no value in that. Money has to move. It has to flow. And it's going to flow from hand to hand to hand. Your goal, your mission is for it to flow downstream to you. And you have to understand that if you're not providing a certain amount of value, then the money's not going to stay with you. It's going to go to where the value is being created. And you have to understand, we live in a very capitalist economy, and we're getting inundated with a whole lot of ads, and we spend money frivolously. So you really want to watch out where your money's going on a monthly basis. You want to create a budget. There's not, like I said, there's not one person that is financially literate and is financially independent that does not track their money and understand where each penny, each dollar is coming in on a monthly basis. And those things I do. I track my money on a monthly basis, expenses and income, where everything is coming in. It's what's not tracked is not being measured. That's basically how that works. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about, one of Mr. Kiyosaki's big things he used to talk about all the time, understanding what a true asset is. And a lot of people are missing the point on this. You're just not getting it. It's going right over your head. Understand what a true asset is. Your house, your primary residence is not an asset. An asset basically is something that produces some type of residual income, and basically that's it. It produces income for you from some source. Somehow, that's an asset. Your home does not produce income. A rental property in which you have tenants, and those tenants are paying down the mortgage, and there is a profit on a monthly basis, that's an asset. But your primary residence is not an asset. So your car is not an asset. It's a liability, unless it's paid for, but it's a depreciating asset. So you really want to understand what side of the balance sheet things fall on. And that requires homework and some good understanding of the financial markets. Start reading Wall Street Journal. Subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Twitter, so check me out on Twitter. Wallstreetbravado. Pretty easy to find. And if you have any questions, definitely leave it down in the comment section. I love answering questions. Anything related to investments and finance, I will definitely respond to you. Once again, thanks for coming back out, checking the channel out. Have a great day.